Wingtip.
Good afternoon. It is February 27th, 2019. You're listening to a Little Column A, Little Column B, hosted by Will Limnos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How you doing today, buddy?
What is going on, Will? You're a guy, you like beer. You're also a guy who likes watching Saturday morning cartoons back in the day. What do you think about them getting combined together? There's a brewery in Virginia. Saturday Morning's the name of the beer. They're using marshmallows from Lucky Charms. Are you in or you out?
Wait a minute. Hold on. There's a cartoon being made from a brewery, and it's involving.
No, they made a beer. Breweries make beer.
Okay, breweries make beers. Well, where did the Saturday morning cartoon come in then? I maybe I wasn't listening.
That's the name of the beer.
That's the name of
The
the beer.
beer is Saturday Morning.
Oh, all right. And then the Lucky Charm is an ingredient?
Yep, the marshmallows.
The marshmallows. I mean, I like the name. I think that's a really fun concept. I think there's definitely a target market. I think I may be the target. So I'm immediately interested. The only turnoff is I don't know if I want marshmallow anything. I don't want marshmallow related to my beer. I think those are kind of things I want to keep separate. Am I weird for that, or you have interest in that kind of a sweet of a beer ingredient?
I think that you're overthinking it. They put a lot of sweet stuff in the craft beers. I would say you have different types of fruit and all sorts of different things you can mix in there. And I think that you're thinking of it as that this is going to be a sweet, more like a mixed drink. But I think that if it was blind taste tested, you probably wouldn't even taste the marshmallows. I think it's more of a marketing ploy, but I like the idea of it.
I
got
do.
pictures of the marshmallows on it. It looks like Lucky Charms and like on a beer can.
That all sounds cool. I'm interested in that. What's the brewery? Can we shout out them out?
It's a brewery in Virginia called Smart Mouth Beer.
Smart Mouth Beer. Now, well, easily, I think the simple transition here is to talk a little cereal. And my original thought of not liking marshmallows with the beer is that I don't really like the sugar cereals. I'm kind of more of a plain Jane guy to begin with. I don't know if you knew that, but I mean, give me the regular Chex and the Rice Krispies and Cheerios, and not the honey ones, just the regular ones. I don't want the sweet ones. I'm probably not winning a lot of fans over by that. I imagine you like all the sugary cereals, though, so you would probably enjoy the beer a little bit more.
Of course. Of course. I've eaten and will continue to eat a lot of Lucky Charms.
Is that one of your favorite cereals, Lucky Charms? You know what, Lucky Charms I will give because I do kind of like the marshmallows are my least favorite part of it, though. I like kind of the sugar-coated.
That doesn't make any sense. That's backwards.
No, it's not. It's not. The marshmallows.
Go eat your Cheerios. Go eat your Cheerios and get out of here, you old man.
Get off my lawn, man. All right, that's the soundbite we need.
Exactly.
We got to get some old guy saying that, or maybe it'll just be me saying it. I don't know. Well, are you gonna shout out any other cereals here? Like, you got a couple top lists, a couple favorites here, or are we putting you on the spot too much?
Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh man, so much sugar. Do you do a big bowl?
Started.
Do you do a big bowl or do you like do an average bowl? Because I know some people that get like the salad bowl out here and they just go to town on it.
I don't eat nearly as much cereal as I used to growing up, but I do not do the big bowl. I'm more likely to do regular size bowl, but multiple servings. That way, the cereal part stays crunchy. Gotta stay crunchy. Once it gets soggy, and Lucky Charms, that's one of the tricky ones. Marshmallows are fine, but that other stuff that kind of comes along with it, that gets soggy pretty quick. That's one of the ones you really can't get distracted by reading the back of the box. You got to really focus on eating that quicker. It loses its crunch and gets soggy.
I think I'm all about the refill. So like you eat whatever you can, and then you always kind of like a leftover milk. That's when I kind of top it back off with some more cereal. I think that's the go-to strategy right there. Rather than doing a whole big bowl and then the bottom and whatever gets all soggy and you're not really as interested in all that. And then you waste the milk at the end, and then there's probably some cereal wasted. We don't want any of that.
It's just smart portion control.
We don't want any of that. Well, anyways, I like the idea of the Saturday morning beer. That sounds kind of cool. Now, that's the full name then? It's Saturday morning cartoon beer?
Saturday morning IPA.
Saturday morning IPA. Huh. Breakfast of champions, right?
And then the little tagline, Where Lucky Charms is magically delicious, theirs is magically ridiculous.
Oh, I like that. I like that. See, that's fun.
It's
That's
like it kind of
playful.
it flows right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's cool. I mean, it is gimmicky, but I feel like they're going with it. They're not trying to fight off anything. They're not trying to be something they're not. They're being exactly what I think they should be, which is a great place to be for a brewery, especially with the amount of competition and varieties and just everywhere has breweries now. That's the whole thing now. You can't just get a beer anymore. It's got to be some special, crazy, fancy thing. But when you come up with something cool like that, at least it actually feels a little bit more unique than just kind of the same thing over and over again. So big fan of that. You know, we have a whole bunch of fun topics today. I don't know which one to kind of jump in too much into right now. What's going to transition from food? Let's talk pizza. You want to talk some pizza? That's food related.
I
We
always like
transition
that. I
into
had
that.
pizza. I had pizza for lunch today.
Who doesn't like pizza? I'm sure pizza is probably one of the top consumed items in the states, if not worldwide. That's everyone's favorite, and I think getting pizza to go is one of the biggest reasons why it's so popular. Is you can constantly get takeout and grab it by the slice. There's a bunch of variety options for takeout, and there's got to be good etiquette. I think when you're transporting food, you want things to stay warm. I think it's very important for that. It won't be quite as enjoyable. I don't mind cold pizza, but I'm the old guy who likes boring cereal, so what do I know? But I think Zach's got a cool idea here that these other people who came up with this idea here, the pizza pocket hoodie here. This is a real thing, right? This isn't just some SNL skit.
As far as I know, this is real. It's called the Pizza Pocket Hoodie. There's a Kickstarter campaign going right now, and kind of like the name spells out, it's an insulated food grade washable pouch, so you can wear your hoodie. You get a slice of pizza, you put it into the pouch, you go about your business, and then a little while later you can open the pouch out and you can take your slice of pizza out and then eat it, and it should still be warm.
I mean, this is actually ridiculous. Everything that the beer place got right, these guys I think got wrong. This is this really a need? I mean, I tried to sell this as much as possible with my intro on this, and even I'm like, no, this is silly. This seems ridiculous. Pizza should be eaten almost immediately right now. Transporting it is very challenging. I don't like how soggy it can get in the box sometimes. I think that's a big turnoff. If it works, I mean, is it noticeable like within the attire? Like, do they have like a demo picture of it all? Like, can you see the pouch area where it is?
Oh yeah, it's a
It blatantly
there's
sticks
a
out. Like
big
you could
zipper.
tell.
There's
Like,
a big zipper on the front that's a triangle that has a print of a pizza on it.
so it's not even trying to hide this within like oh, that looks like a normal hoodie, but little do you know there's a
You wouldn't know if there was a pizza inside of it or not, but it definitely it's got a big slice of pizza on it. It screams pizza.
So what is the scenario that hold on, would you ever use this before I even talk about the scenario?
No,
No?
no. The only time that I've purchased pizza and then not eaten it immediately is when you get it in a box and you're bringing it home to eat it with people. If I'm ever getting slices, I've never bought a slice and then there's been some sort of delay in between paying for it and then consuming it. It's an immediate thing.
Yep.
It's hot out of the oven. That's the perfect time.
It's finger food, right? Is it count? It's finger food, right?
I guess I wouldn't think of it as other sort of finger food just because it's a little bigger. You could definitely eat it on the go. That's kind of the whole point. Is even if you grab it and other foods, it's you gotta you couldn't. I'm trying to think of something. You couldn't eat soup. It'd be tricky to eat soup on the go. You need both hands. You're slurping it. It's hot. With a pizza, you walk. You really only need one hand. You fold it. You can eat it on the go. There's no reason to have to keep it warm to wait until later for one slice of pizza.
So
I think it's a novelty. It's a novelty at best. The only thing I can think that would make this cool is if you were, in the city, you bought the piece of pizza, you put it in your new hoodie, and then you met up with some friends and I don't know, you're at the brewery. Somehow you've made it to Virginia at this point, and you're gonna try that Saturday morning beer, and then you're able to just real casually unzip the pocket on the front of your hoodie and pull a slice of pizza out. I think that's the joke. That's the best case. I don't know how it gets any better than that.
All right, is that guy cool? Like, are we applauding this guy? I feel like I'm still mocking him. I don't know if I'm very impressed by the pizza delivery pouch. I don't know if that's a big attraction. Plus, the other thing about pizza, the best thing about it is sharing it. You're not gonna be able to share this with anybody. This is purely individual. It's rather selfish. I think the pouch needs to be big enough for like a small pizza.
Okay, all right. Though, but that's tricky though, because if you have a slice can kind of stay. I'm gonna call it in one plane. I'm thinking once you get to a bigger pizza, it's gonna start folding over, and he's got bigger problems. They already invented the pizza box. We've had no complaints about the pizza box. It works. Everybody knows what's inside of it. It's easy to keep warm. I think this is overkill. It's a novelty. I was really hoping that you were gonna be really on board. And we could really go back and forth on this, but it seems like we're both smart guys and realizing
No.
that this is
Well, we
this is
haven't even
not
we haven't even
for us. And we're
factored in.
both, like we said, we're both very much big pizza guys.
We haven't even factored in the smell. Like, do I want to smell like pizza? Like, when I take the pizza out and I eat it, does my sweatshirt now smell like pizza? I don't know if that's something I want.
I think there's always gonna be a little bit of pizza, residual factor, but it is washable, so you can get rid of that. But who doesn't
Oh,
want to smell like pizza?
I don't. I mean, I'm sure there's a time and place. If I'm at the bar, yeah. But if I'm grabbing a slice to go, the thing is, there's never a scenario right where I'm gonna be like, oh, I'll save this for later. All right, there's no pocket hot dog here. All right, we don't need any of that. This is this is purely.
Wait, hold on. On the other side of this, when do you not want to smell like pizza?
I think. Well, I don't know. This is coming from a very biased opinion right now of somebody who grew up in a restaurant, whose parents also worked in the restaurant like their whole lives. Like the smell of a kitchen is almost the smell of home to me. It's something I'm very used to. It's different. But I think for the average person,
It also smells like pizza, and pizza's delicious. I don't. Maybe I'm way off on this, but
well,
I would
I
think
mean,
that
I don't think they make
majority
pizza.
of the time, someone walks into a room and you get aromas of pizza. Your first thought isn't "ew, gross." It may be a little confused depending on the setting, but I would definitely think it would be a positive to almost any environment.
Maybe I don't know. But I just think that there's no. Well, actually, don't quote me on this. There's a pizza to go hoodie. Maybe there is a pizza perfume or pizza deodorant or some sort
I'm
of
sure there
pizza
is.
scent. I'm sure there's pizza candles and all other nonsense kind of stuff like that. Actually, while we're on the topic of pizza here, and we are talking about my parents' restaurant, I just want to shout out merchbywill.com to let everyone know that they do have their own merch right now. So if you want a Cozy Corner Restaurant t-shirt, they are available for $19.99 at merchbywill.com. And you will also be able to find the podcast t-shirts on there. I got our podcast logo right on there, Zach and our name right on the bottom. Definitely go get those. They're available for Amazon right now. You should be able to score the 2-day delivery on that if you are a Prime member. That shirt is also $19.99. You can find those on the website, also lcalcb.com. No more WordPress. We are now an official website. We bought the domain. Budget's going up. Interns all over the place. We're a full functioning podcast at this point. Look at that. We got our own merch, man. Like, I feel like it's a really big step right now. Somebody asked me the other day when we started doing this, and I actually kind of froze a little bit. I was like, when did we start this? Do you know the year we started this?
Was it 2016?
I think it was the very end of 2015.
Oh, right. Yeah, 2015. Yeah.
But
October, November. It's Emirates football season.
Yeah, no, this has been great. I still enjoy doing this. We've grown with listeners. I think this is all just kind of coming full circle right now. So very excited to have all that, and make sure you go support all of that stuff. So if you want one, or if you're looking for something to kind of get somebody, whether it's a gag gift or an actual gift, it's actually a really nice quality shirt. I've already ordered mine myself here. They are a little fitted. I would probably recommend ordering a size up if you want a more relaxed fit. But if you're looking for kind of a nice fitted t-shirt, go with your normal size, and it will be shaped to your hopefully aesthetic appealing needs. Let's see. Do we have any other clothing things to transition in here? Let's talk. I have had this on my mind for almost a week now. We need to talk about this Ja Rule halftime show, and let me just kind of set the stage of this. It's in Milwaukee. It's just a regular season halftime show. They're having a 90s night, so they figured they should have a artist come in and perform and support along the 90s nights feel. Now, I don't know if they asked a whole bunch of other people and they just said no, and they ended up with Ja Rule, Because Ja Rule comes out at halftime and says, "Hey guys, I know we're celebrating '90s night, but I'm a 2000 artist. I guess my album came out in '99, but sure, let's do this anyways." Like this is how this starts off already. How is this question not already brought up when they were organizing all of this? And there's a lot more to it. I just want to kind of slowly dive into this here. Who booked this '90s night knowing that Ja Rule is a 2000s artist? Should that like a flag should have went up somewhere, right?
I mean, it's right on the cusp, so I'm not so concerned about that. Ja Rule in Milwaukee seems maybe a little out of the normal range.
Yeah, he's a New York guy.
Isn't Ja Rule like in a bunch of trouble for the Fire Festival still?
He knew nothing about any of it. He was not. He didn't sign any checks. From my understanding, Ja Rule was in the videos, but his name isn't on anything, like anything important, like anything that could actually get him in trouble. To my understanding, I'm sure he's some sort of countersuit somewhere. He's probably got thrown into it, but from my understanding, he's not in any serious trouble because he really was just he was just like a promoter like everyone else. So whatever other promoters are in trouble, I'm sure he's kind of ballooned into whatever that group is, but he's not with the big guy. I already forgot his name. Billy something. Billy is it McFarland? That doesn't sound right. That's something like that. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what kind of legal trouble he's in. He's just not in that major kind of trouble. Maybe he's in huge trouble, and that's why he's doing halftime shows in Milwaukee. He's desperate for some cash right now. Anyways,
or is this working out better for him that the Fire Festival stuff blew up and his name's gotten back in? Like he said, he's a 2000s rapper. We're almost in 2020, so there's like a little bit of a resurgence, and that's why he didn't have to do a halftime. Why he was able to do a halftime, or maybe that's more the line we should be going with.
Well, he sounded very serious on saying that he still wants to make a music festival happen, like Fire 2.0. Maybe not exactly as I don't even know how to describe the festival at this point. Maybe it won't be quite the disaster, but I think he does really have a serious interest in eventually having a music festival with whatever artist promotion game they got going on right now. I don't know what he's going on with that, but he does sound very serious with this. So there's more to this halftime show. So not only did they feel like the scheduling of this just kind of just felt weird and a little uncomfortable to begin with. He's not from Milwaukee. I don't even. He did have a Milwaukee jersey on. I'll give him credit for that. I wonder if they made him do that. I mean, he's a New York guy, and I don't feel like he caught any flack for that. He probably should. If you're a New York guy and your whole New York artist is about being from New York, do you think you should be okay to wear another uniform, like another team's? Like that's okay, or am I making a big deal?
You're performing there, and as an artist, I think a whole big part of it is kind of whatever city you're in. It's like, oh, you're the best crowd. You've been the best crowd on this tour, and you really hype up whatever place that you're in, and you wear the jersey, and you want to have a good time. And like I said, Ja Rule hasn't exactly been, at least to my knowledge, hasn't been in the forefront of mainstream music going on. You're more plugged in than I am, but I haven't heard too much about it. See, like the last main thing I can think of Ja Rule before the Fire Festival is when Dave Chappelle mentions him in stand-up, and that's from like over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
For him to be able to come out, I'm sure there was a lot of people there that was like, who is this? Wait, what's going on? So I think that he's got to do everything that he can just to stay afloat.
All right, so let's get into the actual performance now. So now this thing's happening, whether it should or not. It's happening. He's there. It's '90s night. He says the 2000 artist is like the first thing he says, and then he goes, "Hey crowd, are you guys ready?" And then the song is supposed to start, and then it doesn't start. So then he kind of like, now he's just vamping at this point. He's just doing whatever he can to kind of keep things going, and he says, "Are you ready?" one more time to kind of like say like, no, really, guys, get loud. And then he kind of looks around a little bit. And he does it like a third time, and now it feels forced. Now I feel like he has this look on his face of like, oh no, this is something's going wrong, and you can kind of hear him mumble to the side of being like, well, I guess not. And from what I've seen of all the stories, he was actually not talking to the crowd. He was talking to whoever was supposed to cue the track up because the track wasn't ready to play. So. Of course, social media takes this completely over the hill and back about how can we make fun of Ja Rule and all this, and it's already a unique situation that was a bad idea to begin with, if you ask me. And now we get this take, And I can't believe this actually happened. But eventually the music starts. He does his songs, and then it kind of pans out to a wide view, of which you could see Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks star MVP running player guy, shooting free throws on like half the stage. Like he's in the view now. He's in the shot. you know, I think this was all supposed to be a promotional thing to get fans interested in Milwaukee basketball, and it got us talking about it. So in a way, I think they succeeded through very, very multiple failures. In a way, though, would that be an accurate way to describe this whole kind of debacle?
I mean, I guess we're talking about it. Not necessarily talking about the basketball portion so much, but yeah, we are talking about the Bucks.
We are talking about the Bucks. I can't imagine us talking about any other regular season halftime show, but we're talking about this just because there's so many elements to this that I thought were they could have corrected some things. They could have planned smarter ahead of time, and they just didn't. They just didn't. This is like mini Fire Festival for me. If you ask me, like this is kind of how bad could this possibly go? Well, long story short, I guess. Do you think halftime shows are a good idea in the regular season? do we need Ja Rule halftime shows? Do we need 90s nights?
I get the whole '90s night, and so it was probably not just the halftime show. There's probably a whole bunch more to it, but it's just always risky bringing in it's not a different culture. That's not quite right, but people went there for a basketball game, and then at halftime are giving a performance. So it's not all gonna line up. It'd be the reverse if you went to a concert and then all of a sudden a 3-on-3 broke out in between the first act and the main act. It's not quite going to work because people came there for a specific reason. I think it works with really big event, the Super Bowl, because you're getting a lot of casual fans. You're getting a lot of, maybe they're not even fans. It's a Super Bowl, people are checking in. Something like the All-Star Game, which is similar. In the All-Star Game, the whole idea is this is an exhibition. But to me, it always seems the most fun kind of halftime shows are the fan participation, and there's all sorts of different ones, from the simple of the tic-tac-toe layups, or I'm partial to the baby races. I think those are always funny. It just seems like those always get the crowd going more, the kind of lowest common denominator stuff, than trying to actually get an actual artist to perform.
I love seeing a military guy, whether he's returning or just visiting. Those surprises, I think, are always a good fan favorite. Obviously, you can't like coordinate that to happen every game, but when it does, those definitely always kind of catch my attention. Those are always really cool. Or you see some sort of veteran or active military member come back and get to be introduced to the family. And I always kind of feel like they set the family up because they do one of those little mini games like you were talking about. They never actually get to play the game. But part of me would have been like, well, hi, I'm super excited to see you, and I want to spend a whole bunch of time with you right now. But don't you think there's kind of a treat in being able to be teased about that game? Shouldn't you get to still play the tic-tac-toe game? Or do you not care at all at that moment?
I think that you lose it in the moment, but I don't think I would want to be surprised in that moment. I always feel it's always cool because you know how happy the person is, but there's always a little bit of a cringe factor of like these people, like this is their raw emotions being played out almost like for entertainment, like for my entertainment and thousands of other people. And it always makes me just like slightly uncomfortable because they had no idea this was coming. They had no idea to prepare, and maybe they're crying or it's just all their emotions are all right out there for everyone to see, and it just like gives me anxiety sometimes.
You were probably against the proposal idea. I saw one the other day that they get the to-be fiance woman up there at the free throw line, and you could tell already the way she's shooting. She's not going to make this free throw. She is not a basketball player. And then he kind of sneaks up behind her, and she never turns around. She's still trying to make this free throw, and she just struggles. He sits out the entire minute on a knee behind her, and she doesn't know. And she never makes the free throw. So then it's like, oh, sorry, you didn't win, but I bet there's a surprise behind you. And then she turns around and the guy's already on one knee. This poor woman clearly didn't play basketball and was embarrassed for an entire minute of trying to figure out how to put this ball in the hoop for an entire minute, only to then get proposed behind. I'm with you on that. That felt a little embarrassing for me. That didn't feel like this guy did her any favors. She didn't look good in this scenario at all. But at the end of the day, you get a ring. She got a ring, so good for her.
Yeah.
Speaking of fans, there was actually a little fan incident. Was it in OKC or was it in Denver? I think it was OKC.
I believe it was in Denver.
Was it in Denver? It was in Denver. It really doesn't make too much of a difference. The storyline is going to go more or less the same. Of there was how old do you think the kid
it's
was?
definitely in Denver.
It was a kid fan.
9,
10, something like that. Westbrook.
Yeah, right around there.
Westbrook's kind of near the sideline. And the kid kind of goes out and he grabs Russell Westbrook's arm, and Westbrook
Just pokes him. He doesn't quite grab him, but he just kind of like pokes it. It's not a punch as hard, and I don't know if he actually had his finger pointed like point him, but definitely touched him.
Definitely. He definitely touched him. There's no arguing that. And it's not like there's a good there's no good touch and bad touch in this scenario. It's all bad touch, right? This is not. We can't have this. And I get you're a kid, but in some way, I think you got to blame whoever the adult was with the kid. Like, no, hey man, you can't do that. No. I know you're on the floor. I'm sure you guys paid great money, a lot of money to sit where you're sitting. But we can't have fans going out touching these guys. We can't do that. They're not. Who was it though? One of the anchors. I sent to you from ESPN was like they're not like pets at the zoo here. You can't even go pet those guys. This is not how that works. You're here to watch, all right? You're not here to interact. Let's not do that.
With his age and it's a 1 minute clip pretty much, and so he might even be a little younger. It's obviously hard to tell. You have no idea what's going on with the kid. So I'm fine with that it happened. You are sitting courtside. It could even be a little bit of, you see these guys on TV. It's like, is this even real? And like I said, it wasn't like it was like a violent motion or anything. I agree with, but I do agree on all the way through of, you can't do that. And then I don't know if you watched to the end of the video, but I think Russell Westbrook might even have said something to him because he kind of stares at him for a sec. Obviously, you're in the middle of the game, you're in the heat of the moment, and just kind of like calm down. And kind of, I think when I said like, hey, like, like kind of didn't shake his hand, like I think like tapped him on the knee, like, hey, that's cool, and then showed Russell Westbrook going away, who he didn't look thrilled, but that could have just been Russell Westbrook playing basketball. He just never really looks entirely happy. Immediately two, I guess would be ushers came over and like immediately went to talk to. It looks like it would be the dad and the kid, and pretty much I think we're saying to him like, you cannot do that.
Yeah. No. And
I think that okay, you did it. You shouldn't have, but you're definitely learning a lesson right now that was not the correct thing to do. And like, don't, no.
I mean, honestly, the kid's lucky that Westbrook had reacted. I'll call it positive. I mean, he could have easily. I just. Somebody grabs me and they're not supposed to. I'm probably throwing an elbow off default like that. Like, and that could have gone really bad. And I would have had no problem with it. Despite it being a kid, I think that makes you sympathize with it a little bit. But there's no excuse for this at all. You have to.
And no way, because Westbrook's back is to the crowd, so he'd have no idea.
Yeah. No idea.
Did you also notice Nikola Jokic is right there? It almost looks like he's like ready to jump in to protect the kid.
Yeah, I know, which I think that's not fair to Jokic either. That's not a fun position to be in, where you have to either discipline a fan or go against an opponent right there. That's not a fun place to be in for him either. Because it's just, you don't do that kind of stuff. You don't want to ever put these guys in that kind of situation. And I don't think Jokic at 7 feet really wants to get between Westbrook and a kid either. I don't think that's his dream scenario. These guys just want to play basketball. All right, you guys pay money to go watch them. Let them play. Let them do what they got to do. There's no scratch and sniff with it. All right, that's not included in your ticket. All right, you get to see them. On some days, you get to see a washed-up 2000 rap artist on 90s night perform at halftime. That's it. There's no other perks to it. All right? I think you're getting more than enough out of all of it. But I just thought it was something worth talking about. maybe you know what they should do. This kid should have had to watch the Ron Artest Malice at the Palace at halftime. We should have made that kid watch that on his phone right there. Just pause the entire game, put it on the jumbotron, let everyone get reminded of why we can't do this. Right? We don't need players and fans interacting during the game. All right, off the court, let them do whatever they want to do.
Have you seen any of the videos of Jokic? I'll get that right sooner or later. After games, picking up young children.
No,
we talked about this on the pod before.
I don't think so. What do you mean? He's just
So this isn't like a one-off situation. So how tall is he? Is he a legit 7-footer?
I think he's a legit 7-footer. I want to say 7'1".
So
he's a really large guy, anyways.
Super tall guy, and so there's these kids that got to be, between 4 and 12 years old, and they're all standing there and they're waiting for him, and then he just goes over, and he just picks him up, and just like holds him over his head, and doesn't even quite give him like an airplane ride or anything, but just like picks him way up into the air, puts him down, and goes and picks up the next kid. And oh man, do they just lose their mind? And it's just so funny because he's just smiling, having a good time, and just with this simple act of just picking up small children over his head.
Well, that's as high as they're gonna ever get. I mean, think even if your dad picked you up when you were a kid, all right. Best case scenario, dad's like what, 6 foot? Like that's an average height, you know. 6'6" is even large. This guy with his arm length and his 7-foot height, you're up there. You're like 10 feet in the air at this point. You're stably being held by a very strong individual, but you've probably never seen the view from that high up. I don't think that's something you experience.
So happy, man.
They're so
that's
excited. Cool. See that's cool. I'm glad that at least there was a positive spin to this topic. Right? I didn't want to like just rant on this kid. I public service announcement: do not touch players. And these are not guys
especially
you want to.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, that's not a guy you want to tick off. All right, I think he's very fortunate to get the response that he got out of it.
Yeah, I think those ushers came over, and I bet it was his dad, and I think he got a stern talking to, and he won't make that mistake again.
Yeah, well, good for him. All right, it's a great game to enjoy, especially with the tickets he got. All right, he's watching on the floor. Don't ruin that. All right, that's a good thing. Speaking of, I guess, more off the court kind of stuff here. I don't know if you saw, but Kareem is going to be auctioning off 4 of his 5 NBA championship rings, and he's planning on donating it for charity. His argument was, I think everyone knows who I am. I don't need these rings to prove it to anyone who I am, and these might as well go to a good cause. I have so many mixed feelings about all this because now I guess the money's going to charity, so I suppose that it's all good. But I also feel like that these things belong. Like he earned those, right? He had to play, and was given with the talent and worked hard towards all of them. And I don't know. Part of me just feels like he earned that, and that somebody shouldn't be able to have that possession of that by just a quantity of money. Like that doesn't feel like those guys earned it. But then again, they did whatever they had to do to earn the money, and I guess if he's willing to sell it, it's fine. But I don't really truly like this. I kind of would rather that they would just donate money to charity. That there just should be a sale of NBA championship rings. But what do you think about this? Would you bid on something like this if it was the right player? Is there ever a scenario where you would buy an NBA ring knowing it's going to charity?
I think it would be in a looking to help out the charity more than wanting the item. Kind of to your point, it's he went through a lot of effort to, like you said, to earn the ring, to earn the jersey, something that I didn't do. And I like, what do you do with that? Just you kind of show it off when people come over, like, hey, it's Kareem's.
It's probably not going to fit you.
Championship ring here.
It's probably not going to fit you.
You don't wear that around, right?
I don't know. Well, even if you do, it's not going to fit you. I can't imagine me or you having the same size ring finger as Kareem.
But on the flip side, they're his possessions. He can do whatever he wants with them. And cool that he's doing it to go towards a good cause.
Any chance of this becoming a trend here, or do you think this is just a? I mean, maybe other players have done this and make the news.
I mean, you hear once in a while of players in a bad spot selling merchandise to just kind of make ends meet, and that's always sad. But I think sometimes we as fans overestimate some of these awards. I just feel like I've heard interviews where someone will ask like, "Oh, where's your Finals MVP trophy?" You know, I think it's at my mom's house, like somewhere over there. It's not. You would think if you won an award like that, it's right prime place on your mantle, like we do with our fantasy football trophies that are at scales less of importance. But we know exactly where those are, and I think once you have that sort of success, it's just different for everybody.
Yeah, I mean he's no young guy anymore either. Like maybe this just something. Yeah, he's done with it at this point. Maybe he's enjoyed having the rings in his possession to a certain age, and after that age, I'm sure it's just like, all right, well this is very old news at this point. He's done a whole bunch of things after his career, so he's stayed very involved in a lot of stuff. So maybe it's just a new phase of his life, and that's just not as relevant. He's focused on helping people, and how can you be upset about any of that? I just personally, I wonder how you would feel about this. Do you think there's ever a scenario where you would do it? Like, would you sell one of your rings for charity? And I will very selfishly say no. I can't imagine a scenario where I would get rid of those. I don't have one though, so it's really hard to like imagine this scenario.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I don't have anything close to that level that other people want.
Uh, but in the hypothetical, do you think you would ever do something like that?
Do I have multiple championships like he does? Maybe that's more of it. If you only have the one,
He is keeping
you
one.
really got to hold on to it.
I
If
will
you got
say he is
multiple,
keeping
'cause
one.
I think it said didn't it say 4 of 5.
Yeah, he's keeping one. He is keeping one.
He's keeping one. Yeah, maybe that's more the angle here.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Well, I guess if I only have one, I'm holding on to it. But so there's a number. I guess if you have more than one, maybe you just feel more attached to just
Yeah,
one.
hold on to the first one.
Yeah.
Or your favorite one.
Well, while we're on the topic of retirement, we have a very, very interesting retirement plan from an individual who is opting to not go to retirement home and is instead choosing to retire at a Holiday Inn. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes.
Who is this
Yes.
individual?
This is getting a lot of attention. This is Terry Robinson of Spring, Texas. He posted this on Facebook, and there's a lot of problems with it. I think that it does really help to point out how expensive a nursing home is, because I think that a lot of us don't. It's not in a lot of people's day to day where going to a hotel is, and just realizing that a hotel, which we already kind of think of as that's kind of expensive. Like how much a nursing home costs. He ran the numbers, and an average cost of a nursing home can amount to $188 per day, where he said that Holiday Inn cost is more like $60 per night, with long-term stay discounts and senior discounts, and he threw out how a lot of them have breakfast, some of them even have happy hours in the afternoon. They're all over the country. Just all the amenities, room service. They got free shampoo. A lot of them have toothpaste and razors. Just all the things, and really doing a great job selling it for the Holiday Inn. I don't know if they gave him a cut, or if he's hoping if he does this, he'll get even more of a discount.
He might be onto something here. I mean, I'm not hearing.
But
well, there's a but. Go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, my issue with it is if you are in the situation where all you are looking for is a place to live, you probably don't necessarily need to go. I mean, nursing home is a pretty wide range. A lot of times, once you get to the nursing home, is because you're at the point where you're needing some medical assistance, or maybe some more assistance than just, I'd like somebody to make my bed. So you can't really compare the two. If you need dialysis, a Holiday Inn's not going to be able to help you with, or any other sort of medical events. He does kind of make a flippant comment that if something goes wrong, they'll call the ambulance for you. It's like, yeah, if it's once like you fall or kind of something that can happen to anybody, but once you get to a certain age, you have more problems. So that's kind of my issue with the whole thing, is that it's not a comparison of services.
I've never been. I've been to retirement home like once. I think it was in high school. Uh, we did some charity event for them, or it has some hangout thing the basketball team did, and so I don't really have much of an opinion on retirement homes, or I'm not super familiar with it, other than what you kind of see in the movies and TV shows, which I'm sure Hollywood doesn't portray this exactly great, but I see pros and cons to the community kind of element to a retirement home. But I also see a big benefit to the community effort of a Holiday Inn. People are in and out. Like you can talk to a new person every day. You may not build quite the relationship, but I'm sure there's somebody you could talk to every day that may be interested in having a conversation, and then you move on to the next day. There's always something new kind of coming into town. Um, Versus the other one, I think you kind of get that long term friendship kind of community potentially, as well as enemies. I don't know. I don't know how realistic like any of that is. I don't know if retirement beef is a real thing or what. But I think the guy may be onto something. Until you actually need physical care and you're just more or less looking for somewhere to stay, or where you don't have to necessarily maintain the. I mean. Taking care of yourself can be a lot. So if he is getting some assistance, if that's all the assistance he needs, I think he's onto something. Now he's going to hotel? He's not just staying at one. He's moving on.
I don't think he's actually doing this yet. He said this is his plan for retirement.
Oh, this is a plan. This isn't an actual execution yet.
He hasn't started yet. No.
Oh well. Let me. We'll follow up on the topic. I feel like if it reached you.
Yeah, it doesn't have an age, so I don't know if this is imminent or if this is many years down the road.
Well, it's something to think about. I mean, I don't know. It's also kind of the retirement home cost is kind of a strange thing. It's like, well, you're really putting a cost on how important the individual's well being is, and that's kind of a hard thing I think to put a price tag on. It's like, well, you're getting personal care out of somebody who actually cares, hopefully. Then there's a price for that. They're not just making the bed and all that. So I see the pros and cons to all of this. Maybe he's onto something. Me personally, we're staying with family, right? we're making your kid take care of us, right? Something like that.
Well, hold on. I think if we sell enough T-shirts, the pie will take care of us. I thought that was the plan.
Yeah. No. As long as we can still do the podcast, right? Imagine doing the podcast from the retired home.
Might have to.
We might have
expensive.
To. Yeah. What kind of
us out of the Holiday Inn?
What kind of out of state call costs are you getting from that hotel room? Is that an expensive need?
Yeah.
You got to dial out. Oh man, that's funny. At least maybe he's onto something. There's another individual who is a whole lot less fortunate than most people, and he lost a bet right now. And did they tell you what the bet was? Like, what did he bet on for the peanut butter thing here?
It was he took last in his fantasy football league.
Oh man, so that's not even. Oh man, so for all you know, it was a competitive league. Like it might have come down to the last week, and he just lost out. So anyways, this individual. Does he have a name? Should I give him a name?
His name is Steven.
Steven. Poor Steven here. And I actually don't sympathize with him. All right, you knew the consequences going in when you made the bet. All right, you should have just drafted better. I'm curious to see if he had any injuries on his team. Anyways, the guy comes in last, and
his first pick was Le'Veon Bell.
Oh man, oh man. All right, you know what? You want to tell people what he had to do then? All right, so he loses. He comes in last. His first pick's Le'Veon Bell. This already, I can already see this spiraling out of control terribly. This is how you end up in last, and the consequence of losing was walking through the park, or what exactly was it?
He had to cover himself in peanut butter and go to a dog park and walk around. It turns out it only had to be for 10 minutes, but. I mean, that seems real risky.
Only 10 minutes? 10 minutes is a long time. Did he run out of peanut butter? Is there a video?
There is a video.
There is a video. Oh, man. I see that out here. It's dog parks are crazy. I've always had a lot of fun at them. There's nothing dangerous about it. It's all in good fun. I'm sure a lot of dog owners would be like, "Why is this weirdo here covered up in peanut butter, having a whole bunch of dogs licking him?" I'm sure somebody might feel a little uncomfortable about that. This seems like good playful
He
fun to me, though.
definitely has a trail of dogs following him.
This seems like good fun to me. I kind of like this consequence. I don't know if this is consequences for us, but uh, I'm not going to rule it out. It's not the
Here's
worst
the
idea.
here's the really I guess upstanding part that this guy did was this was his first time playing fantasy football, and he got in a
Oh,
league with guys that have been playing since 2009. That would be like somebody jumping into our league that's been together for a while with a punishment, and then following through. I would like to think I'd be nice enough that your first year you kind of get a mulligan, especially with the Le'Veon Bell. That could have happened to anybody. That wasn't you messed up and you weren't paying attention. That's you were put behind the eight ball right from the very beginning.
oh man, good for this guy following through. Yeah, no, he's got way more guts than anyone else. Oh man, they gave him the top pick and he took Le'Veon, which is what you should do. I mean, especially if you're a new guy. I mean, even an experienced guy. Yeah, I think even me and you, I think we would have taken him. Arguably, depending when the draft was, probably number one too.
Well,
Uh,
it doesn't say specifically where he was in the draft. His first pick was Le'Veon Bell, so
yeah, it doesn't matter though.
just that's not that happened to a bunch of people this year. Experts. It didn't come out until a week before. I think it might have been less than a week before the first game that it became official. Like, yeah, guy, he's really not here and he's really not playing.
Well, anyway, so how do you feel about this bet? Does this seem like something that we could pull off? Does this seem like something for us?
You say it sounds like fun. This seems terrifying. Getting bit by a dog.
You're not gonna get bit. You're just gonna get licked.
You are really just trusting a bunch of random dogs.
All right, look. All right,
That's food.
all right.
That's
The one
food. They don't know.
the one thing I'll put
You
out
were
there.
just it'd be like a ham sandwich sitting out there.
All
It
right.
looks like food.
Let me give you. Let me give you a reason why I think you'd be a lot better off than you think. For the most part, I'll say 95% of the dogs that are being taken to the park are pretty good around other dogs and other people. It's the weird 5% I think you need to worry about the biting. The one dog that doesn't make it to the park regularly, doesn't see a lot of other dogs regularly, and is kind of so around people or whatever. That's the one dog you got to worry about. But I think for the most part, if they're already socially active and hanging out in these parks, they're for the most part pretty cool with everything. I don't know how granted I've never.
one dog bite still hurts, right? It doesn't have to be all of them that bite you. Just one that bites you, and it hurts.
Well, showing people how I got these scars from a dog bite sounds a lot cooler than the shaving scratch here and there. I find the embarrassment.
Speaking of that, how have you recovered? Are you fully recovered at this point?
I
We haven't really got a follow up.
I am fully recovered. I actually think my hair it's not back to normal, but it's hairy again. It's full of we've sprouted all along the legs now. All right, it's no longer itchy.
Gone?
The itchiness is gone. Thank God.
How long does the itchiness last for?
Honestly, like probably 2 weeks. Like at minimum, maybe longer. Because it never really stopped until of recent. Honestly, it was constantly uncomfortable. Especially like I don't know what sleeping. It was very uncomfortable. I don't know what it was. It was rubbing up against like the bedding and the sheets and all that. It would just kind of like go against the grain of the like the prickle hair or whatever. We don't need to talk about all this, right? We're going to talk more about how Zach's going to lose this year in March Madness, and we would like to ask the fans of Little Column A, Little Column B, what they think the consequences should be this coming March. We're all ears for ideas. I think the peanut butter dog thing is a decent idea. Would you agree to something like that? I'm not saying this is it. I don't know if that's something for us, but would you agree to something like that?
I'm a little concerned we could get bit by a dog.
Oh, all right. See, that makes
That's a lot of peanut butter.
That makes me a lot more interested in it. You know what else is?
I don't know. I don't know if it'd be the same out here as going to the dog park near you. Like, I'm thinking by you, there's always there's always people at the dog park, where I could just go to a dog park and all dolled up in peanut butter and be cold, but like no one was around, so I think that might kind of defeat the purpose.
Oh, maybe you just have to do it out here then. I would strongly recommend you do it out here over some other stranger park. Or maybe we just tie you up. We let Max go to town with you. just one dog, one big dog, one dog bigger than you.
Yeah, I don't want to get bit by a dog.
You know,
The friendliest a dog. If you put food in front of it, it's not its fault if it tries to eat it.
all right, maybe you know what I kind of just thought of. I feel like we went on a rant last week of how we need to be conscious about our peanut allergies in 2019, and here this guy is just
What if I'm
rolling.
allergic to peanuts?
Maybe there was an individual there. Maybe there was some kid or something who's got a peanut allergy, and now his dog went and licked it, and he went back and licked the kid, and yeah, maybe this is a bad idea. That one thought just came into my head, and this has already turned me off on this whole idea, right? Because that sounds like something that makes sense,
dog park.
huh?
Yeah, not thinking about the kids at the dog park. Real selfish.
I mean, anybody. I mean, if you never had peanut butter, but your dog got into peanut butter because you didn't give it to him, some other idiot at the park did, and then they went back. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that going full circle and going bad. Yeah, I'm turned off by it, but I think it's a funny idea. And shout out to what was it, Steven? Who was it?
Yep.
Shout out to Steven, man, for your first year in fantasy. Best of luck next year.
Following through.
Oh, for sure, following through. I would love to know.
And then he said he'll probably play fantasy football again, but probably not with these guys.
Oh, he's
like,
out.
If you're not going to play with those guys again, like that's a for sure. Just bail on it. That's what it seems like to me.
Oh, I don't know if I'm right with that. No, he's got to follow through. I think you got to go up, dude. It's not every year you get to draft Le'Veon Bell. I would draft Le'Veon Bell again this year. I'm not sure he would, but that's not going to happen every year. That is not how fantasy sports work. That's how fantasy sports go. But that stuff happens, man. It's an investment, right? There's just gambling involved. All right, this is not a for sure thing. Nothing's ever a lock. But you know what? Whatever. If he doesn't want to play, maybe it's not for him. I would probably say he would have had Le'Veon played, he wouldn't have finished last. Even if
not.
Even if the rest of his team was terrible, I don't think he would have finished last. Anyways, it's been a good show. We got about a couple minutes left here. A couple of topics left over here. Anything you want to talk about specifically? You want to talk?
No, nothing specific.
Oh well, we got 3-point contest.
I get to open with the beer, so that's
we got
to get that out of the way.
I got the 3-point contest record being broken. We got the softball home run cycle. Actually, let's talk about that. Let's do the softball home run cycle. All right, let's broaden our sports horizons a little bit here. Danielle Gibson. I don't know anything other than her name. I don't know her team or anything like that, but I saw this on SportsCenter. She hit for the softball home run cycle. And if anyone's familiar with the cycle, it's first, second, third, home run, the whole shebang. She did the home run one. All right, well, she hit one with nobody on, hit one home run with nobody on, hit another home run with one person on, hit another home run with two people on, and then hit the grand slam with three on. All in back-to-back-to-back bats. Like, I think her first 4 bats that all happened. Or first 4 or 5, whatever.
You don't get that many at bats.
What?
I said, yeah, you don't. You say it went 4 for 4. It's like you don't get that many at bats. You kind of have to do it all in one go almost.
Oh
like
yeah. My biggest thing with this whole topic is why are they still pitching to this person at this point? Like, do you not try to like avoid the scenario of all this? I mean, at that point, I would just walk her in. I walk in a run and avoid the grand slam. I mean, she just hit 3 home runs. Like, clearly, whatever you're doing,
7 a day.
Let's just change things up a little bit.
Maybe they did, and she went Vladimir Guerrero and just scooped it out of the dirt.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, I thought it was really, really impressive. I don't think it got nearly enough attention, or maybe it got too much attention. I don't really know a lot about the opponent and all that. I just thought it was bad coaching that she managed to get that far along. It's not like the other one where it was like a first, a single, and all that. Like, there may not be runs scored when you do the regular cycle. But I thought this would be way more impressive. Anything to add about Danielle Gibson here?
It just seemed similar to maybe when Clay went off in that quarter for a crazy amount of points, where it was one of those, not even in an official game capacity, just trying to do that in an empty gym, or like even just trying to do that with batting practice, just hitting home runs is not the easiest thing in the world. So without someone even trying desperately to make sure you don't do this and still being able to do it, it's still impressive.
Well, nonetheless, good stuff. Good stuff. Good home runs. Always cool to see that. I would have changed it up. How many would you have pitched to her? Like, I just feel like easily, like neither of us would have. I would have bailed on this so hard. I would have let anyone else beat her other than her at this point. Let anyone else take a shot at it.
I don't know the score, what the stakes were in the game. So,
anyways, you're listening to a Little Column A, Little Column B, hosted by William Manos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. Definitely go check out the website, lcalcb.com, as well as soldbywill.com for all your San Diego real estate needs. And if you got any topic ideas or bet consequence ideas, make sure you reach out to Zach at his Twitter, which is
Wicked Z-Man 24. I got a new follower today.
Hey, congratulations on that. We should shout out every follower you get.
Shout out to Sean Pelletier. He must be listening to the pod and heard to follow, and he found me today.
Oh, yeah. And last thing, speaking of Sean, which this is in no way in any relation, the T-shirts that we have for sale are also available in women's and in youth. So it's not just men's T-shirts. So check out your sizes. Amazon Prime, merchbywill.com will take you to all your T-shirt needs over there. More to come. I think we'll have some other T-shirts on the way as well. So we're just kind of launching all that, and go check those out. Anything else to add today for today's show, Zach?
Can the Celtics please just try in today's game? That's all I'm asking for. I don't need a win. I just need some effort, please.
No. Don't worry. We're a playoff team, all right? We're just waiting to turn it all on. Turn it on like a light switch. Tommy points for everybody.
Please turn it on tonight.
Anyways, we will be back next Wednesday. We do record live at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you go to lcalcb.com, you can stream the podcast live as well as see all the other old episodes on there and all the details. Thank you as always for listening, and we'll be back.
Little column A, little column B.